Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. So I just got finished watching on President's Day Wicked World by Barry J. Gillis. This is the Blu-ray release, which was put out by American Genre Film Archive, or AGFA, and Bleeding Skull. This is a Canucksploitation, which is a Canadian exploitation film. I'm a big fan of blaxploitation, things like Penitentiary. So when I heard about this and looked up some things online, I was interested, to say the least. Um, where do I start? So Barry J. Gillis is a B-movie filmmaker who is currently working on Tales from the Dead Zone with Bret Hart and Corey Feldman. For, I believe, $95, you can kick in and become a associate producer. I'm very tempted, but I really can't spare $95 on something kind of like that right now. If it was like 40, $50, I'd probably think about it. So Barry has made a couple very low budget Canadian Canucksploitation, if you will, B movies over the years. One of the main ones he's known for is Things, which has these guys in a house and these gigantic bugs are attacking them and they're trying to like fight their way out. It's really bad. Things is really bad, and I couldn't really get into it. Some of it was funny, but for the most part, by the end of it, I was kind of glad it was over. Wicked World, in my opinion, is probably as bad, but steps up its game in regards to watchability. So the main point of the story, I think, is this gentleman here who, as Red Letter Media has so lovingly dubbed, looks like, is it Newt Gingrich? I want to say it's Newt Gingrich. Or did they say Newt Gingrich or Rush Limbaugh? I think it was whatever. Newt Gingrich. Who's the one with the hair? Hold on. Newt. I think it's Rush Limbaugh. I think I'm confusing the two for some reason. No, Newt Gingrich. It definitely reminds me of Newt Gingrich in a way. So, anyway, this gentleman who looks like Newt Gingrich is in a wheelchair. He has been lobotomized in a mental institution, and he's just there with his thoughts. And throughout the movie, he is... I don't think it's a fantasy. I think this is his thoughts of what happened, and he's just telling them, and they're playing out. He is wearing a gas mask and murdering people because the world is so wicked and evil. People are disgusting, and this is what I got from it. He's doing some sort of cleanse. He's, the taxi driver, if you will, of Canada. So, anyhow, as he's doing this, he's having these like monologues in his head. He's also saying how much he hates his nurse that's taking care of him, and he wants to kill her. Humorously enough, her last name is Latino. I don't know why. I guess she's Hispanic, and he couldn't think of a name. So there's also a cop in the film who is cheating on his wife, and he's got some like inner struggles, and he is, I guess, I don't know if he's trying to track down Newt Gingrich or what, but he's killing people, and then he's also trying to, I guess, go after him. It doesn't fully make sense. There's a lot of really weird jump cuts. The music goes in and out at points that I feel like it shouldn't. You'll see the Newt Gingrich type character going after someone, and when he's in the frame, it plays a certain song, like a dun 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 dun, and then it stops and cuts to something else, and then goes back to it, and then something else, and goes back to it. And it does this quite a lot. It's jarring, but it's also very funny. There's a lot of humorous stuff in this movie that I don't know if it's intentional. There's a scene that there's this... I wish I could friggin' say his name here. Hold on. I don't know what the actor's name is, but the gentleman with the white hair. I don't want to keep calling him Newt Gingrich. So the gentleman with the white hair is sitting in a barbecue in his backyard with his wife and his, I guess, young daughter. And a neighbor comes over, and I think it's the same guy that plays the cop, Barry J. Gillis, the creator of the film. And so it's the cop. He comes over, and he's a new neighbor. And when he comes over, you hear dogs barking, babies crying, and gunshots. So I live in the suburbs. I don't hear most of that. If you lived probably in like a bad area, you I guess hear some of it or be have a little more noise pollution. But this is supposed to be like this idyllic suburban barbecue in their backyard with the patio type of thing and the hot dogs and hamburgers, and there's just like this massive amount of noise, different noises. As I said, guns, babies crying, and no one is batting an eye. It's just the voices are going over it. A lot of the voices in the film are overdubbed, so either the mouths don't move, they'll like turn their heads, or it'll cut and you'll hear a voice or something. There's not a lot of the mouth matching the voices. I don't know if that was intentional and after the fact he added some stuff. And for the record, this contains two cuts of the film: the 2019 director's cut and the original cut. I had spoken to Barry J. Gillis on Facebook, who's very nice, and he had said he's grown and this movie's older now, obviously, so he was trying to tell me he's gotten better and that to watch the director's cut, because the director's cut, I think he was trying to express was better than the original cut. It's also a shot on video release, so you're not going to get some great high definition transfer here. This is something that was shot on video. This is its own kind of genre that people really love with shot on video movies, and it looks okay, but it looks kind of like VHS quality. You're not going to get much better than what it is. It does have subtitles, and it is region free for those who want to import this. The back of the box says, Wicked World feels like what would happen if Salvador Dali injected acid directly into his brain while staring, at a Cannibal Corpse LP cover. This is a highly personal treatise on the toxicity of society from one of the most singular filmmakers in trash horror history. If you survive Wicked World, you'll never forget it. I'm going to agree with all that. It's definitely, they also call it trashploitation. I've heard it say it's like a very trashy film. A lot of the actors and the characters remind me of the people in American Movie with Mark Borchardt. If you've seen that documentary, they're from Wisconsin, but they have that sort of Canadian flair to them. Sort of remind me of some of the characters in this. As I said, it definitely is better than Things. It seems more coherent. Maybe that's just the director's cut I watched. I will go back eventually and watch the original cut. There's lots of strange things that are out of place, things that aren't really explained. When they're doing that barbecue in the backyard, for instance, the wife says about the white-haired character to the new neighbor, "Oh, don't mind my husband. He had 3 daughters from his first marriage, and they all committed suicide last week. He just can't get over it." That's it. She's like a cold-hearted bitch. She doesn't care. They're not my kids, whatever. So she doesn't care that her husband's daughters all died the same day and killed themselves. She plays it off like it's nothing. And then the husband gets mad. She's talking to the new neighbor, and she leaves him on the spot. Just leaves him. Great wife, great husband. So there's also a behind-the-scenes documentary on here and a martial law music video by Barry J. Gillis. This is a movie for you and a group of friends to have a couple drinks, watch this, and just laugh at the absurdity of the strange cuts, the strange voices, a pretty good amount of nudity, and they show a pretty good amount. It's not just, nudity in the breastal region. A weird story, everything, the plot, everything is just very strange. It seems like Barry J. Gillis had this grander scope of an idea, but didn't know how to kind of put it together. But if you really watch and listen, there is a story there, and there is something deeper. There's a deeper meaning to it all. But whether you grasp that deeper meaning or not depends on how much you watch the film and whatnot. By the end of the movie, it goes on to talk about, there's like a little post-screen sequence with words on the screen that talk about how Canada's developing all these new technologies to put a chip into people's brains to make them not violent any longer, and that we're not there yet, but we will be, and it will stop all the violence. So while most people in the world are worried that the government is going to track them with some kind of implants in the future, this movie's saying that it's good to put these implants in people to stop violent urges. Um, so, so it's all over the place. But have some drinks with your friends. Watch this, The Godfather, Barry J. Gillis of Trash Ploitation, and you will. I could just imagine my friends and I cracking up at this. I mean, I was laughing at points, but and I apologize to Barry if he wasn't going for that. I mean, I know he knows this is a movie from 1991. It's an older, earlier release, so I'm sure he knows at this point it didn't age great or well. But as interesting as it is, it's not a great movie, but it's funny too. It's unintentionally funny, or maybe intentionally funny, in lots of ways. The other thing I wanted to mention, and this is a very strange reference, go on YouTube. I have it on my channel as well, and listen to the theme song from the video game Moon Cradle. Moon Cradle is a Japanese Sega Saturn and 3DO game, and there's this weird MIDI intro theme from the game, and there's a song in this that they play a lot in the background that sounds so much like it. I don't know if it's just some kind of royalty-free song he picked up, but sounds a lot like it, which I thought was very funny. Um, I'm shocked something like this is on Blu-ray. It goes for, I think, $20 roughly, or $30, maybe with shipping and tax and everything. I paid about 15 or 16, I think, with a coupon I had. Um, I don't know what else to say, really. It's people in this movie don't really act like normal people would act. They say things that are offbeat and off color. The violence is bloody, but you don't really see the attacks too much. It's more like you'll see blood on the camera screen, and then it gets, cuts really quickly back and forth. There's a lot of like jump cuts and the camera spinning, things of that nature. If you have any kind of like vertigo issues, I would probably recommend not watching Wicked World. It's just an absurd film. It really is. This is I'm keeping this one in my collection. I love bad movies. I love cheesy movies, and there's enough violence and kind of creepy evilness in it to keep me interested, but also this deeper plot that doesn't know how to tell it, like, lend itself to the movie. Um, but it's interesting. So I would recommend this purely for people who like bad movies. If you want something, it's even below something like Samurai Cop, because Samurai Cop or Raw Force went out to make something entertaining, and it was cheesy. This is bad, almost like home video type footage, but absurd, like in ways. There's just so much. I can't even describe it. So let me know, guys, if you've seen Wicked World, what you think about it. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.